All right, guys, welcome back to RollPlay Swan Song. Going into hour number 2 here on the premiere of Swan Song. Adam, what should we do next?
Let's get everybody's characters. Let's do a quick summary. So let's get everybody's character's name, what class you are, tell me your background and your training, and what world you're from, and then we can jump into the trouble I'm sure you're in. So JP, you want to go first? Anybody?
I do not want to go first. I got to do a bunch of stuff right now.
Jeff, go for it.
My name is Mr. Sicarian. He's not quick to tell people. I mean, he doesn't tell people his full name. It's kind of like he's a little bit more secretive and quiet about that kind of stuff. It's better that you don't know his whole name. He comes from planet Onitsuwa, or Onitsa. I should really stop adding.
Can we just call it Onitsuwa?
Like subtle racism. What's that?
Yeah, it's not planet Konnichiwa, please.
Anyways, from planet Onitsa, which speaks. It's like a Japanese-speaking planet. But as Adam said, it's like a embroiled in civil war where they're kind of fighting over everything. But Mr. Sicarian's background is he's an extremely well-kept, clean-cut, kind of keeps to himself, very quiet guy, but he's a hired gun. So he's kind of like, I don't know how this team's going to formulate, but my vision of him is that he's my vision of him rather, is that he's kind of like the hired muscle, just kind of keeps quiet, gets the job done. Like I said, very clean cut, so he's got like slicked back black hair, always wears his clothes immaculately clean, very straight and narrow. If he's in casual clothes, it's like he prefers kind of like business suits type things, but very athletic, not super buff, not super huge, kind of nondescript, handsome, but not like nothing super special in any way or shape or form. As the numbers would all suggest, he's actually completely fucking average in everything. But he's very athletic and actually very dexterous. I have to give credit's due. So he's very good with his hands. He's kind of known he's like I said, he's the hired muscle, mercenary. Money's the number one thing for him. And he's extremely good, like I said, with his hands. And he always carries this nasty-ass looking knife. It's a monoblade. But it's like his favorite thing in the whole world is like the knife. Kind of lives and dies by it. And the monoblade, as Adam explained for me, and for the rest, I guess, that don't know, it's like a mega super sharp knife, which fits perfectly with how I envisioned him. He's just always got that around. And when picturing him, I'm not going to be. I already talked about this on my stream, but he's loosely based on the character Marcone from Dresden Files. Jim Butcher is the author. Really cool character for me. Obviously, I'm not going to straight rip him, but he'll be my interpretation of him. And he's just kind of a business mastermind. He's got that business background as a mercenary. Not afraid to do to talk and do business talks, but otherwise he's pretty quiet and just does what he's paid to do.
Very cool. All right. Do you want to go next, Sweet?
Yeah. So I have a female psychic. Her name is Piani Pick from Majid. Yes.
How much does she weigh?
She is of average because, of course, everything about her is average. She is average.
In Adam's world, do we roll for the weight or do we just say?
You just make it up.
Okay, we just make it.
Then she is average size, so she is probably thinner than Lady Amsel and Fricks.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Is that
Gotcha.
has
Yeah,
everyone
okay.
got the mental picture?
I gotcha.
So from Majid, Majid obviously, as we established, a place where sort of a very wealthy individual just kind of bought up all of the like the resources and the ability to mine there. And so I grew up on this home planet poor as fuck, while everyone else was sort of wealthy around her and her family. So Piani just wants one thing, and money motivates her. And all she wants to do is make sure she has a shitload of money because she never wants to be poor again. Of course, in doing so, she went into the seedy underworld of criminal activity, whether that was on the planet, little cons trying to steal gold here and there, of course, punishable by death, but had to do something, to the longer cons that eventually got me on the comm crew of a major ship, only to narrowly get caught, and that was the reason why Piani is now on the run. So Piani, other than being average size, kind of smaller on the shorter side, has short hair. It wears some woven body armor, nothing too elaborate, pretty plain, and also carries a laser rifle.
What ethnicity is Piani? Like, can you tell by looking at her?
Probably not. I mean, as it goes in the year 3200, like a lot of shit has just kind of mixed together. But you could say that
beige is the baseline.
Yeah, she's still very well, I think Eastern European looking.
Okay.
It's Middle East, yeah.
No.
Wait, can you change your name and roll 20?
Yeah, I will change my name in roleplay.
Okay, I think I got the overlays correct as well, so hopefully everyone's stats. God, you look at my stats and they're just fucking terrible. Steven, I think it's your turn for the characters.
So I am Victor Kovacs. Once was a biotech crew before I gained training in xenoarchaeology. I've been kind of a nerd for a long time, but I'm also quite strong, pretty athletic, intelligent, charismatic. I'm basically tall, tan, well-muscled. I wear my my woven body armor stripped to my waist, usually with a white wife beater underneath. You can often find me working in my lab, either dissecting something or deciphering some ancient language that I've come across. I have a buzzed military haircut that's slightly longer on the top with the sides, with lines cut into them. And I wear glasses. And I'm a little bit like in my zone. It's hard to get me to pay attention to what's going on outside of my areas of interest, but I'm actually quite astute once I put my mind to something. What's the deal with Andoni? Adam, can you tell me about my homeworld?
Sure. How long have you been away?
I don't know. I mean, I guess how did we all meet each other?
Well, we'll
How
deal
long
with that
have we been?
after we get character.
Well, and that's something you can. Yeah, I mean, we can figure out in flashbacks and stuff later on. We don't have to be like, this is the exact details of everything that we've done. We'll flashback. Yeah, we'll flashback to that stuff.
I guess I've actually been away for a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 or something like that.
Okay.
I guess I had a little bit of trouble on my homeworld, and maybe it was part of, obviously part of why I decided to hop world, but also probably part of why I decided to get a little bit of training in projectile weaponry and purchase this semi-automatic pistol that I always keep tucked into the waistband of my woven body armor. Okay. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Maybe I stole some trade secrets from a group I was working with on Andoni. That kind of makes sense. I was too curious and I took it home just to keep working on it. There was a whole misunderstanding. Probably I also didn't want one of my rivals working on it at the same time. Things like that.
Do you have culture Andoni or culture Gunhild system?
What is my culture?
If you had culture world, you could choose Andoni.
No, my cultures are spacer and traveler.
Okay, so you don't really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'll tell you some of the basic stuff you know about Andoni right before we get started, because the game will begin there.
Cool.
And we'll show you how your world has changed in the years you've been gone.
Sounds good.
JP, tell us about your character.
Yeah, so my character is an expert with a background in con artistry and training of bounty hunter. His name is Wilbur Higgins III. Everyone calls him Higgs or Higgins. No one calls him Wilbur. He hates the name. It's just something that he was given when he was born, and everyone just calls him Higgs. But he also goes by a lot of other names because he's run a ton of cons, and he's kind of a planet hopper, which is why he's able to navigate and able to also drive grab vehicles. He's very accustomed to leaving in the middle of whatever's going on, because a lot of times the cons don't go his way, which is because his stats are fucking terrible. But anyways, apart from that, he's got a laser pistol. He speaks a little Southern. Can you tell me the background of the planet Asa?
He speaks a little Southern.
Little Southern?
Little Southern. That could be a language. Maybe some Georgian space travelers settled on a planet.
Well, that's why. Can you tell me the background of Asa that you have?
So planet Asa is a major space yard. It's probably under the ownership of either Sunbeam Multistellar, or there's another major shipyard called Zimenez. So probably either of those have their base there, and it's like an ocean world.
Sure. So let's
there's
just
more,
say that. Oh, it's
more
an
water
ocean
than
world.
land. Yeah, yeah. There's maybe some land, but the world is primarily ocean.
Well, that
it
makes
has
sense why I had grav. Okay.
yeah. So maybe you have like you were a grav boat driver or something, but yeah, there's probably not a lot of land there.
Okay.
It's a temperate planet, prone to like toxic storm.
Great. And you said that it's in space. There's a lot of what was it? The space when you started off describing it. What were we?
It's a major space yard planet. So there's for some reason one of the major like corporations that build spaceships use ASA as a home base.
Great. We're gonna say a lot of those people are of Southern influence, and they have
Sure.
a drawl when they talk. And that's why.
I think it's I think it's perfect. Let's make it Sunbeam Multistellar. So they're the company that owns the Swan Song. You guys are owing them money for the ship,
Okay.
and it fits perfect for me if Sunbeam's got a Southern drawl. I like it.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, and the influence of the character is a little bit Han Solo and a little bit cowboy, just general cowboy. And yeah, that's Higgs.
Alright.
Adam,
Yes.
do you think Andoni has any like space-based science facilities?
So something happened on Andoni recently that's made it the center of a particular part of the scientific community. You will know about this just by your character's business. I don't know. They're a little shut off. Well, let's jump to that. Unless anybody has anything else that they would like to do, we can jump right in. And I'll tell you a little bit about where you are and what's going on.
What can we go around and just to know what everyone purchased in terms of gear?
Yeah. Do you
Sure.
gear?
Jeff, what'd you purchase?
Sure, I'll kick things off. So I have a my armor is woven body armor, and plus with my dex, it's actually AC4, so it's not bad. And then, like I say, I carry a monoblade, which is the sharpest of sharp knives. And I'm at +2 with that because of my various proficiencies. And then my weapon is a plasma projector, which is at +3. It throws superheated energy. It fucking melts people from the inside out, just sets them on fire. But it's like a ball of energy that hits you. It's not like it just microwaves you or something.
Big two-handed plasma bazooka.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you purchase a compad?
No, what is that?
That's the cell phones of this world.
How much does that cost?
50.
100.
Oh, it's 100.
Yeah. Well, it's 50 for a pad, and then the like data pad, the bigger, better one is 100. I think.
I have 50 left, so I'll just do the cheap one. So what's that called?
Compad.
Compad.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the
Now
compad I
yes,
thought was
I have
100.
purchased one, JP.
So is it 100? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the
on
compad's
I don't know.
Compad's
100.
100. Yeah.
I've moved away from the equipment chapter.
What's
It's
the
100.
cheaper one?
You can't afford a phone. Sorry.
I don't have a phone then, I guess.
There's no good data plan on Andoni. Don't worry about it.
Keep me close.
Yeah. We never let
Porta box. A porta box.
We should also, after gear, talk about why we're together, or
Totally.
who's the captain and shit like that.
Totally.
Yeah, I have some questions about that myself.
Steve, what about your gear?
I have 2 Lazarus patches, 2 med kits, a backpack, a survival kit, semi-auto pistol, and woven body armor. And that's all I bought, ladies and gentlemen, because I am broke. So I hope one of you
You
bought
rolled like a 4. You're fine.
an extra compad.
Well, since I'm a rich bitch, I bought woven body armor, a laser rifle, 5 ammo clips, a compad, and 10 thermal flares.
Well, isn't that just fine and dandy?
It's the queen of thermal flares.
Nice.
Let that be light.
Well, since I rolled a 1, I purchased a laser pistol and a compad. That's it. But I'm keeping the
rifles,
the
No
sharp
armor?
Sticks.
Oh, sorry. Laser pistol, compad, and a metal plate.
You just have like
So
under your
I keep a
shirt.
metal plate under my shirt because I look normal, but you never
Good
know what type of
square
con
torso.
if it's gonna go bad. So I just want to have some sort of protection on the person.
Unless someone hits you with like a long bow, but otherwise you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Metal plate. Awesome.
I love that.
Metal plate. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's talk about the Swan Song a little bit. So your ship, You are in the midst of processing payment for it. The cost of that ship is 775,000 credits. I mean, pool all your money together, you can't even make half a payment on that thing. But it's a pretty badass ship to get started. It's a free merchant, so it's primarily for bombing around the galaxy with cargo. So you'll be shipping things from one place to another, picking up miscellaneous jobs to pay off the ship and to get paid yourselves. The ship's operating costs, so it can support a crew of up to 6 people. If you want to get additional crew, you want to hire 2 more people, you can do that. They cost 600 credits a day per person.
Does that also include if like cargo was a person?
No. So what that other stuff, the other thing is maintenance cost. So every month, and I'm going to track like actual time in game. Like I know what date we're starting, and I'll track weeks and months. At the end of every month, someone needs to pay 3,230 credits, or the ship gets worse. Something might break. Just like maintenance costs go up.
What was that number?
3,230 credits.
It's on the.
Yeah, it's
on the thing.
sheet.
Okay, we'll just keep the
Yeah.
sheet then. I'll print that up.
So you also you owe Sunbeam Multistellar 775,000 credits for the ship. They're going to expect a monthly payment for that. So you'll have to deal with that. And then whatever's left over, you can do whatever you want with it. Buy compads galore if there's any money left over. The ship itself has atmospheric configuration, so you can go to planets and moons. You can land it. You don't have to like stop it in space. Take a shuttle. It has fuel scoops and a fuel bunker. So if you don't want to buy fuel, you can take 4 days to skim a gas giant or a star for fuel. You have enough fuel for 2 drills, basically. Drill is a jump using your spike drive, and it's traveling one hex. So if you look at the map that I have in Roll20, you guys are in the Gunhild system now. You have enough fuel to get you to Varvareso or Stasi or Tovar or Mualimi, but you'll have to stop if you want to get as far as like Vafai or Laodicea. Like there's the farther ones, you're gonna have to make multiple jumps.
Okay.
So how far can we go in a single jump? 1 hex?
1 hex, yeah. The way to improve that is to get a better spike drive. So your spike drive is rating 1 right now, and it'll allow you to jump 1 hex per fuel. So you have enough fuel because of the bunkers to take on 2 jumps worth of fuel.
Yeah. So wouldn't we
and
need we'd need to refuel to reach Mualimi as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can only get as far as like 207. You could jump
Yep.
kind of into space. The ship has space for 100 tons of cargo, so pressurized cargo space, and you have a multifocal laser and a sand thrower. So multifocal laser is what it sounds like. It's like an armor-piercing laser beam. Sand thrower shoots a cloud of ultra-fine sand, essentially like silicate crystals. It's particularly useful if you're being attacked by a bunch of smaller ships. If you're being swarmed by fighters, you just blast them with sand and it'll chew them up.
Nice.
Yeah, and those you don't need special ammo for. That's just part of the deal. The ship can support 84 person days of time, so 1 person for 84 days or some division thereof. And
Basically 21 days with all of us.
Yes. And for reference, a jump takes, with a single spike drive, a jump takes 6 days, I think. So if you get stuck out in space, you can figure out how much fuel you have left. Yeah.
Okay.
So so that's the Swan Song. I mean, you guys, you don't have it paid off yet, but if you want to start building up some cash to improve it, you can do that. If you want to take out the fuel bunker or the scoops, you can add on new weapons. Like there's hard points available on the ship, and we can talk about that. I'll do a post maybe on Reddit about like how to upgrade your ship. How do we make the Swan Song better? But what my question is, somebody or a group of somebodies owes Sunbeam Multistellar an ass ton of money for this boat.
So since they work on my planet and I'm a con man, I would think that I was the one that got the ship.
Okay.
But they wouldn't sell it to
So-
me unless I had a crew.
Yeah. So
Because they wanted
so
to make sure
that's-
they would make money.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like all the money you make is your own. It's like buying a car, right? You got to make payments on it, but the Mazda dealership doesn't care where you drive your car.
Yeah.
Mazda.
So thanks, Canada.
You talk funny.
So I guess JP, it's a question for you. Like, does everybody get equal shares in the jobs? Does everyone have equal shares in the song? Like, how's it divided? Because the more shares you have or the more ownership you have over the ship, the more you have to pay. Like when Sunbeam comes looking for you, you're more responsible. But then maybe you get more of the loot when you go on mission.
So I have
you
a
guys can talk
question
about
for
that.
you.
Yeah.
As a con man, is there any way that I could perhaps have gotten a discount? Perhaps owe less monthly? Like, can we roll
you
for
want
that?
to you want to negotiate the terms of your lease? Yeah, sure.
I'm fucking con man. Of course I do.
All right. Okay.
The
So do
paperwork
you have-
says your name is Jimmy Bob, but it's really not.
All right. So I think that's probably. I don't know, probably have like a business role, or do you have another skill you want to use for that?
Let me look at my character real quick. I have so many things open.
Let's see what kind of APR you can get on this.
Well, I have a persuasion skill of 1. So I
Okay,
would like to use a
alright.
persuasion skill. And the persuasion, or the story that I go with is that Pee-Pee, or as we know her, Peony Pick, but I call her Pee-Pee.
Okay.
What,
And the legend
you
was
said that you
born.
were a criminal, or you worked in the criminal world, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a criminal culture of 1. So maybe that's how I picked you up. Is that negotiable to you? Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. They met. in the seedy underworld.
Okay. Does anyone else have a culture or a criminal background?
I believe I do. Yeah, I'm a mercenary. Or no, maybe I don't actually. Oh no, culture criminal. Yeah, I do.
So I did the same thing with Jeff because we needed some muscle, right? I had to go collect
Yep.
a crew. So I went and found
Yep.
PP because I liked her name, sounded cute.
Yeah.
And then I found Jeff because he had this giant cannon, which I was
He's tough.
I was into. I don't know how we met Steve though.
He's the face of legitimacy, right? Like he's
We
the
need a
guy whose
front
name's
man?
on the lease.
We need the front man.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I have culture spacer,
Nice.
so it feels like maybe I've spent more time in space than many of you.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
Like-
culture spacer is like the unofficial like members of crew kind of like you know what bar to go to on space stations. You've
Yeah.
been around the sector a few times.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I only took the job though because JP's character, which I'll figure out the names here in a second, offered exactly 1/4 of the ship and everything we do with it.
Yeah. Is it an
Yeah.
even split?
Did he give you guys the same offer?
I could negotiate. I would, depending on what you guys want. It could be that you hired me for muscle, so I don't get an even split, but you pay me a salary a month, or I do get an even split.
I think we just
Either
do
way
an
you
even
want.
split all across the board.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm a con man, but I'm not a fucking asshole, right? Like everyone gets a fair split.
You're
Fair
a fucking asshole.
All right.
Fair
Split evenly.
Okay.
But
so you're
it's
all
Jason's ship then. It's Mr. What?
Well, no. The other thing too is, as the con man, I knew that they would never give me a ship because my name is very. People know all of the names that are associated with myself, so I had to get the front man, Victor Kovacs, to sign and put his name on the ship.
So Victor's name is on the lease.
So
but
his
you're
name is on the
all-
lease, but technically
for
I'm
the-
the one that got everyone involved with the ship.
Maybe you like approached me separately from the others, making me feel like you approached me first.
Yes, totally.
I don't
At a
know
bar.
if you
No,
actually
exactly.
did approach me first.
These other two were nowhere near me when I approached you, and I conned you into perhaps thinking that I was a little bit more reputable than I am. You didn't know me; you were visiting or something from space.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows?
absolutely.
And I
Where
I-
did we find you,
Where did I guess
Mr.
maybe
Higgins?
you were jumping on, or I found them. I don't know where I would find them world-wise. Would you guys come to ASA for some reason? Maybe in the space station.
For some reason.
I might have been there like from a previous gig or something like that, and I think I'm fairly well known.
Okay.
So one thing that the sector has to enable mercenary types such as yourselves to find jobs is there's an organization called the Exchange. They're a neutral sort of banking guild that runs most of the legitimate financial transactions in the sector. They also have they run a comnet. It's like a universal sort of mail system. And on the comnet, you can, when you pop in sector, you come into a system, you can connect to the comnet and you can download a list of the various jobs that are available on the net at that time. So it would be totally conceivable that that Higgs, you put up a post like looking for crew, or whatever. And that ComNet, the job boards, those will come up continually throughout the game.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
you
what
could,
I did
that'd
for
be an easy
Marcus.
way to get everybody.
I was
I-
interested in joining a crew. Then that's probably.
I did that on
right.
like the black market ComNet, if there's such a thing.
Totally. Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
the
there's
criminal
totally, like,
one
an
that only
underground
criminals know about.
LF3M, comms, navigation, and vehicle space.
Exactly. That's where I found PP. And can I just call you Mr. S?
Me?
Yeah.
You can call me whatever you want. You know,
Because
that's the character. Yes.
Sicarian? How do you say it?
Yeah, Sicarian.
Sicarians. It's too much. It's too complicated for me. I just call you Mr. S.
Just a good old Southern boy.
Oh yeah. Yep. And that's where I
Cool.
found Victor Kovacs. Was in a bar. He did not find it on a post. I approached him, running a con, pretty much.
If I know what bars to visit, as a spacer, maybe you found me in a spacer bar that's known to be frequented by people looking to hire on.
Sure.
So
you
like
guys had- you
even
had your
though I
cantina
wasn't,
moment.
yeah, I wasn't advertising per se, but I was obviously in the right place.
Sure.
Cool. All right. So to gain experience in this game, you guys, rather than getting it for getting in fights or exploring stuff or whatever, you'll have what are called goals. So I won't get you to write them for this session necessarily, but I'll give you all one based on the current mission. But between sessions, you can write a goal. It's a thing your character wants to do. So like get better armor or upgrade the ship or make a contact on an alien world. Like do certain things you want to do. You'll tell me what they are. I'll assess how difficult they are and give you an XP value. And when you do them, you get that much XP. So it's all very sort of mission and goal based. You can have personal goals, and then I'll give you missions, and those will give XP as well.
Cool.
So at the beginning of the game, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the. You want to make a roll for your terms for your ship, right?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay, cool. So you want to make this roll yourself, or does somebody with like you're doing persuade, but somebody else with business maybe or culture spacer? They could chip in. You can have both if you want to get Mr. S to chip you in on the business side, and
Sure.
maybe Victor on the spacer side.
They were all there
Yeah,
when the deal was
absolutely.
made. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Mr. S and Victor, if you guys could roll, the skill system in this game is 2d6 plus, it'll be plus a bonus. So if you have the skill in question, like let's use Mr. S, your character. So you're going to be rolling business. So it's 2d6 plus. Do you have a positive number in business, or do you just have a 0?
I just have one, so it's just a 0, I guess.
Okay, so you don't take a penalty, so you're gonna roll a 2d6 straight, and you can add your either charisma in this case, I think, or intelligence, depending.
They're
on,
both just
okay.
0.
All right, so roll 2d6. If you can get a 7 or better, then you'll be able to contribute. All right, so no, the paperwork you can muddle through it, but it's maybe more complicated than you're used to. There's a lot of stuff about like air conditioning and like upgrading the stereo. You're just like I don't know.
How do you know
So-
which stat goes to which
It's
skill?
it's totally situational.
Okay.
So if you were using business to like suss out a bad deal, he might use wisdom. It's a
Mm.
little
Well,
defy dangery that way.
Before we went
Yeah.
into this deal, I spoke to PP and asked if she had anything that could help us in this particular deal.
Or don't.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have 2 people help you anyway. So
Oh, okay. Only two.
so
Vic-
here's
Vic-
mine,
Victor, you want to roll your spacer?
and I'll do +1 for intelligence.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I know how
Oh.
to cut a deal. Okay, so you got a
Plan.
7. So JP, his 7, Victor 7 will give you another one on your persuade roll. So you get to have an
Yeah,
extra
listen, Mr. Higgins, I know a guy. I could have him talk to your guy. No guarantees or anything, but I worked a job with him a while back, so maybe you could put in a good word for me.
Okay. We'll say that good word came in, hopefully,
Cool.
with this guy
Okay.
that we're talking to.
So you're gonna roll 2d6, and you're gonna add the 1 that you get from Victor's connections.
Okay.
You can add your charisma bonus if you have one, and you can
No.
add the training bonus if you have one for persuade. If it's a 0,
That's a +3, ladies and gentlemen. This is a good roll.
Oh. No.
Charisma is 14, Persuade is 1, and then I get a +1, so it's 2d6 +3. Please don't fucking roll bad. What am I looking for? What's the number here?
Basically, the better you roll, the better the deal is going to be. 7 is the starting point, and it goes up from there. If you get less than 7, the deal is 775,000 credits with
Take it or leave it.
with a percentage over a year.
Totally.
I don't know anything about leasing vehicles, but I'll figure it out for you.
Here we go. Fuck yeah.
Nice. All right. So I'm
Jesus.
gonna make a note that you got an 11 on that. And I'll let you know the terms of your lease before the next session.
Beautiful.
Cool. All right. So maybe it'll be like a
Sick.
period. Maybe it'll be a period without interest, or it'll be a different lower payment or whatever. But cool.
Great.
Right. Cool. All right. So you guys have you've taken missions to be able to pay for this ship that you have, to get paid and to increase your lot in life. And the mission that you're currently on is in the Gunhild system on the planet of Andoni, homeworld of Victor Kovacs. So Andoni, you know, Victor, that prior to your leaving, maybe a couple of years ago, there was a populist sort of movement of very like nationalist, like kick out the outsiders, kind of like fascist jackboot kind of guys trying to take over the government. They called themselves the Andonian Cultural Protection Force. And yeah, their jam was like Andoni for Andonians.
Doesn't
and
sound like
so-
the kind of crew a xenoarchaeologist would really fall in
That's
with.
that's right. They didn't like other humans, let alone people with like scale feathers and stuff. So there was this sort of political uprising. The last time that you were here, it was still kind of civil, right? It was like there were elections, and it's a civilized planet, right? So you got this mission. Your benefactor, Dr. Seckler, it's a simple courier mission. So your mission, your job was to go to Andoni. She gave you clearance codes for coming safely to the system. You were to go there, pick up a case from a research partner of hers, and to bring it to her facility on one of the moons of the outmost planet, the gas giant of the Gunhild system. Now, the system itself, and Andoni, it's the only habitable planet, and there are a couple of moons that are starting to be terraformed, but Andoni is currently blockaded. The Cultural Defense Force has seized control of the planet. They've got a bunch of ships in orbit that are basically saying, like, nobody in, nobody out. It's like Japan in the 1700s. Like, you want to get in. If you live there and you leave, you're never allowed to come back. The reasons for this are sort of mysterious, but if anyone would like more information, if you have Culture of Andoni or Gunhild, if you have Culture Traveler or Culture Spacer, you can roll any of those. Or if you'd like to make a culture roll about the sort of criminal aspect of it, if you want to hear what's kind of going on the crime net, someone can make a roll for that.
I
as
would
well.
love to make a criminal roll, but I think, Steven, are you going to make a spacer roll?